Hey everyone, it's been a while. I thought I would post up here on the Breakfast Club because of something that has come about, and I thought it was what is worth speaking about if it hasn't already. And actually, I've been through a lot of personal things, so I haven't really posted much on my blogosphere because I've been sick, and then I've been dealing with the passing of my 15-and-a-half-year-old dog, so it's been a little bit tough, but things are getting better, and that's the good news. So today I wanted to talk about Rose McGowan. She recently came out with a book as well as a documentary called Citizen Rose, which was featured on E! And I had a chance to watch the documentary, which is very well done, very artistic, and I like documentaries as it is. And I've seen her in various interviews promoting the book. However, while she has a good message, and it's a message that's important, she's really going about it in a way that's unacceptable, and it's kind of making the Me Too movement look bad. She's been one of the first people to come out on the Me Too movement, talking about her personal situation of sexual abuse and the horrible things she's been through in her life. But the way she is in her interviews kind of reminds me of the old Sinead O'Connor days when she ripped up the picture of the Pope and she was just in this mad fury that turned people off. And while she had a good message, the way she went about the message was just not palatable. I have a lot of concerns about Rose McGowan. Yeah, she is smart. She is intelligent. But lately she's been coming across as this kind of conspiracy theorist, saying that I have people were plants and that they were coming to kill me or to discredit me, etc. While I know she's been going through therapy, whatever therapy she's going through, she kind of needs to change because she needs to convert that anger to something positive. She shouldn't attack people when they try to ask her tough questions. And something that I'm seeing in general with the Me Too movement is this very thing, and there's been criticism coming out about this. To give you another example, there is actually something called a pro-life feminist. Basically, a woman who believes in the feminist ideals, but they're not pro-choice, they're pro-life. So they're on the conservative side. Now, believe it or not, and I've actually looked into this, Susan B. Anthony, Louisa May Alcott, Jane Addams, just to name a few, were pro-life feminists, which I never knew, and I find this quite fascinating. Well, there was this article that I read, and this was maybe about a couple weeks ago. Actually, around the weekend, they had both the Women's March and the Pro-Life March. And it was about a woman who wanted to participate in a Women's March until she was told, no, we don't want you here because you're pro-life, and we don't want you to join us. We don't want you to be a part of this. Which I thought was like, wait a minute, she's a woman wanting to be in the Women's March, and just because she thinks differently, you're not going to accept her? You want her to be in your box and think like you? It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. And unfortunately, if things like this keep happening, the Me Too movement's just going to look like, it's not going to look good. It's going to look like what a lot of us, a lot of people in the women's movement complain about in regards to the pro-life and the conservative movement. Closed-mindedness, not accepting differences of opinions, and on and on and on and on. Okay? And so this is where I want to bring you into the conversation. That is this. Do you think because of people like Rose McGowan or people who are not accepting differences in the Me Too movement are hurting the movement? And if there's this situation where differences are not accepted, how can we get those differences accepted? How can we bridge that gap? What kind of conversations need to happen? Personally, I would say the number one thing that needs to happen is listening. Listening to the other side. Listening to what they have to say. Don't try to put yourself into their statements, but listen to what they have to hear. Because if you listen to that other person, you might just get some ideas or thoughts that maybe you've never considered. And this is something I'm starting to promote a little bit, because I've had it happen to me too. I've tried to give the differences of a majority opinion, and people have said things like, that's not possible. Oh, there's no way. Well, guess what? Some of the things I have said and predicted have, and will come true. Why? Because it's a matter of taking oneself out. You know, there's the Dave Rubin report, which I watched. He made an excellent prediction about this year, about unusual alliances coming together, because people on different sides are actually going to start sitting down and having a conversation and finding out they have more commonality just from different viewpoints. And it'll be alliances that we have never thought of or considered. And you know what? I think he's right. I absolutely think he's right. And I'm hoping that happens with me too. I would like that. It's actually one of the reasons why I talk to different people. I don't want to be in the same boat. I don't want to be stuck in a box. That's why I like differing opinions, and why I don't mind the banter. It's why I like having the conversation. So, having said that, and knowing where we're at here, I'm going to throw it out to you. What do you think about people being closed off to differences of opinion? What do you think about Rose McGowan shutting off a transgender person because she was merely asking her questions about how she felt and why, and then kicking that person out? What do you think about the women I just mentioned who didn't want a pro-life feminist to march with them, even though that woman still agrees with the Women's March movement? Love to know your thoughts on this one, because this is definitely a conversation worth having, and I think we really need to promote the idea of accepting differences. That's all I have to say. Ta-ta for now.